Today, we are going to be putting the rest of the flooring on it. Basically what I want to do is I'm going to weld these braces across, frame it all in, and then we'll lay some 2x12s to fill the rest of the gap. We'll come right out to the edge of the tire and go from there. And we will use all this wood. I've got two more. Basically, I think they're 11 inches actually. Freaking wood standards aren't the same as steel, so but I think two side by side will be plenty, and then the rest of these I will probably use to tie in underneath just so everything's solid. And I might use these and build some stops if you have a four-wheeler motorcycle or something like that. So I'll get tearing those apart, and after that we'll measure out the steel and start framing. So just laying out one of these 2x12s on here. Obviously it's too long, so I don't need trimmed, but you can tell I'm gonna have to cut out here, right? So whatever board I decide to put on the outside will be split in two, and then a fender be built into it. So I think instead of using two of these, I think I have scrap 2x6s that I'll stack on, and also 2x4s. So going from there, it won't be as wide. Basically it'll come out to about here, which will work just fine. That'll be plenty. I think that'll still put us around that 6 foot mark. So what I'll do is I'll build a frame structure, and then I'll measure and notch this out, and then we'll try to get this board mounted, and we'll see what board I decide to put here. All right, everybody, it's the next day. So we got those boards taken apart, and so now I'm going to start on the steel fabrication here. It needs to be 15 inches out based on my calculations, but once we get that on, then I'll be able to cut and trim the boards where they need to be. So let's get after it. So here's the piece, one of the starter pieces. They're all going to look kind of like this. We're going to fish mount the end so it can wrap around the tubing. So basically, like on the back here, this needs to be extended outwards. So I'm just going to lay this piece in the joint. And since it's fish mount, I can get a solid connection there. Then I can weld the full length there, and it'll be pretty strong that way. So all I got to do now is tack this on and make one for the front, and then probably two in the middle. But I think my goal will be to get the outer structure, so we'll do the front and the rear, and then make a side piece. And then we will cut the board, make sure all that works, and then we'll make the middle braces. So it's a little bit out of order, but I want everything to be where it needs to be before I weld everything solid. So that's what I'll do next. All right, guys, we're making progress. A little slow, but we're getting there. So I got a front brace and a rear brace, and I've notched out this 2x12. I just went ahead and I cut it to 31s because that's what size I'll be running, and I don't want to run into any clearance issues if this does bottom all the way out. Because I'm not sure exactly where all I'm going to run it. But if I am going to run it off-road, I want to make sure that the trailer flexes side to side. It's not going to have any problems. So now I guess I will throw this board on and test fit it. And then we'll figure out what structure we're going to do next. So with this board on, you can see that the wheel should have plenty of clearance if we do flex it inboard. And I've also still got some extra here so I can lay the 2x4 just to get a little extra width. I may decide against that. I don't necessarily need it, but it's one of those things I just got to think about. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to create the braces to go here. What I'm going to do is go directly underneath to the frame, front and rear, and then I'll tie them together here. And that way, they're both structurally sound, and I may put a little smaller one in the middle, just in case any extra load does get put on this outside board. And probably the other thing is I will run one piece across the full face. That way everything's tied together. And then on top, I will probably as well put a 2x4. So that's what we're looking at now. And from here, I'll just keep working one little thing at a time. Back in the shop today, and we're finally getting around to filming what I've done on this trailer. As you can see, I've got both sides on, and then a front board just to rest things up against when you tie it down. I've done a terrible job of filming when I'm fabricating, so you've missed a little bit since the last portion of this video, but I'll go over where we're at right now. Basically, I've got both sides framed in. So I went around and as you saw already, there's supports underneath, but I framed in all the way around on the sides. I'm going to wrap the corners here, front and back, once I figure out what I'm going to do for a bumper. But basically we've got that all wrapped up, and that's done on both sides. And I went ahead and I put this strap here so that I can basically weld a fender on. So I gotta have something to weld to, so that's where my idea was from there. So since I've got all that done, I'm going to go ahead. I've got a winch controller that I'm gonna install, and we'll hook it up to a battery and make sure all that works and go from there. And also another addition we're gonna go to is I've got this jerry can so that I can have spare fuel if I'm hauling a mower or whatever. So that's gonna mount somewhere in here probably. I think that would be good, somewhere like that. Or maybe just angled. So add that to the list. Yeah, that's what we're gonna handle right now. So what we got for this winch controller is just a very basic winch. I think that this was maybe a Traveler brand. I can't remember, but should have everything we need. This has that style bracket on it, which is for a smaller bar, but I think I can probably modify it to get it to mount on here. Either that, or I may just, let's say, mount a plate somewhere in here. Wouldn't be bad to have it underneath of here, and then it would be out of the way, out of the direct weather if the trailer's sitting. So yeah, I'll figure out what I want to do, and then we'll get after that. All right, so we got this mounted. I decided to go on this side now because I want to be able to see it, and it's going to bug me if I can't read the retract button. So that's there on this side. If I don't like it, I'll switch it, you know, whatever. So now I will throw a battery in and try to get all this wired up. Might need to buy some zip ties, so I might not tie it all nice and neat today, but I will make sure it functions. I didn't have any zip ties, so don't get mad at this wiring. It's a mess, but it works. So I've got battery in, positive, positive, negative, negative. I'm not hooking it up all weird. So eventually it'll all get tied down nice and neat, but battery's hooked up. It's hooked up to here. So you say let it out with this button. There it goes. And then retract. Boom. Man, I'm excited. So we got that knocked out. Obviously left, we have a battery tie down to handle. and tying the cables. And that'll basically be it for the winch setup. Not sure what I want to do with the tie down. I could just bungee it, but I kind of want it to be super secure, so I'll probably build some. But I'm not going to worry about that today. Right now, and basically my overall objective is to get everything functional. I want everything on, and I just got to make sure that everything works like it's supposed to before I go like making everything really nice like I like and everything secure and tight. I've just got to make sure it works first. I don't want to put too much work in and then have a big issue. So that's what we're going to do. So next is jerrycan. We will get it on, make some kind of mount. But yeah, that's what we'll do. All right, so I might have our answer here. So when we got the trailer, we had this bracket. Sorry for the hand over the camera. We got this bracket that was on there. And when I got it, it was here. Do I know what it's for? No, I'm gonna assume it was there for a motorcycle wheel or something, maybe. I don't know, doesn't matter. But if you set it here, looks pretty close, huh? Well, it is pretty close, but not perfect. So we are going to take this bracket, we're gonna notch and 2 spots, so it's welded here and there. Notch those, move it out, place it so it's still snug with the can, and then overall, I think I will mount it right here. And right there gives good placement where it's angled out of the way. I also put lips on the end to keep it from sliding. And then I'm thinking a bracket off of here, maybe with just a clamp, and that'll keep it from tipping and will hold it securely. So I will get hacking on that and we'll have it here in no time. We got that welded up. Can fits, snug on both sides. Now I just gotta close the ends off and then we'll get her mounted on the trailer. All right, we got her welded on there. We got her 1, 2, and 3 welded. Plenty solid. Let's talk about why I didn't cap this. So in reality, my thought was, I've got enough stuff in the way, behind it, in front of it. It's not gonna come out forward and backward. And frankly, I don't need it to be this secure. The battery is super tight in there, and I want it to be able to get in and out really easy. So I'm gonna leave these uncapped. If I change my mind, I will change it later. Let's try this can. So it is secure on the sides. Sits really nicely on there, still at a good angle. So yeah, flush with the frame itself, and I think it looks really good. Let's check from the back. So from the back, it just is nice and neat. Everything's where it should be, and I'm really happy with that. So now, I'm just gonna have to figure out how I want to secure it at the top. So that's what's coming up next, and it shouldn't be too bad. Maybe something with a pin, I don't know. I'll come up with something and we'll go from there. I still have plenty of metal left. Shouldn't have to buy anything. So here we go. I got it. So went back to the scrap pile and found, I think, what's gonna be the best thing. So these are each 1/2 of a front grille support for a lawnmower. Rigid steel tubing. And the plan is, once I put the can in, put a bungee strap over top, it'll be perfect. So let's try it. We'll grab our can, make sure it slides on in there. The plan, ooh, it's a little snug, is that these are snug up against it too. hold it securely. That way it's all secure. Looks like I might have to give it a little persuasion here. Persuasion has been applied, and now she's on there. So, wasn't too bad. It is going to be not the fastest thing to undo this strap, but at the same time, it's really sturdy. It's not going to pull up or anything like that. So I definitely think that's the way to go. These are rigid enough, welded enough at the bottom. It'll work great. So definitely happy with that. Got a lot done today. A lot of updates for you guys. Everybody who's been watching this build. Yeah, so next I am planning on probably doing like the rear bumper taillight section, which is going to be something here. I think it's going to be a whole one-piece bumper, LED lights, and a spot for a license plate and stuff like that. But I want it to be sturdy enough to where I can put ramps on it and not worry about it. So it'll definitely be out of steel, which I do have some extras here. I think we'll do something along the lines of this, so it'll be rigid, and then we can mount some LEDs in there. I don't know, I'll think about it, but we're making good progress on this. Definitely happy with the jerrycan and the winch. Yeah, I can't wait to get those buttoned up and the trailer on the road. Oh, also, organized shop, plenty of room, super nice. Everything's in one place. Got my Napa sign in the back. We're making progress around here. So keep tuning in. I'll have more videos up soon. So we'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.